On the humble, I be having these dreams where I'm people watching with Basquiat sitting on a curb on Bedford Ave sipping piraguas talking about never thought I'd live to see the day. Could have sworn I saw Otis Blackwell walking out the corner store on Atlantic Ave smoking a Lucy whistling a new tune for Elvis to cover. And it was gully, right? Because I caught Biggie on a stooping bed-stuy selling dope to a hipster with Ready to Die tatted across the pale of his arm. Hadn't seen a hoopty in a while when old dirty bastard pulled up, offered me a ride to the pink houses, and suddenly a handsome mocha man sitting on a nearby fire escape calls my name. I could tell it was Jackie by the Dodgers stitched across his chest. He told me I miss home, and then it all fades to black. When I woke, the blue moon was sprawling out from its hiding place, limbs hanging over the shoulder of night after lovers had abandoned their bodies, laughing in the corners of each other. I was a full-tint lamppost staring at the sky's cheekbone shy of stardust through the blinds of J-train tracks. This is how it feels to dream of being moonlight in East New York. A concrete plant collecting whispers of bodega blues, darling sunrise, tickles drumbeat hips, swaying through the air of Sassoon, and I envy the morning swag. Boomboxes hold our windows open. In July, we face our fears on the cyclone called romance. A stroll along the boardwalk in Coney Island, head nods pay respect on beat, boys playing Scully in the street. We used to buy our kicks from City Line and roll a blunt for all our fallen soldiers and spark a generation in love with spray cans and naked tenement buildings. Graffiti the spirits of hustlers with bubble letters. Mr. Softy Summers meant stealing Abuela Santo offerings for Tweety Bird on a popsicle stick, playing hopscotch on the broken sidewalk, eavesdropping on front stoop gossip, hair braiding, fingers dancing between strands of curls. Brothers get caught in gangs, get caught in barbershops, get caught in street corners, get caught, thrown against the hood of cop cars, see one too many handcuffs on the wrists of brown and black skin. We dock slave ships on our shores daily. Know Rikers Island like a country home. I'm convinced my father conceived me in Kings County arraignments while daydreaming of freedom. I owe my life to the woman who stopped my mother on the B-56 on her way to the abortion clinic and told her, "You have a poet coming." I really respect y'all's time, so I'm gonna try to get through these next two poems quickly, and tomorrow I'll be performing with a live band for you all, so I'll be able to give you some more. Hopefully I remember this poem. Love is probably the most transformative, foundational thing that we need, so this is an old love poem, and yeah, dedicated to the lovers. You make holy war. You who are beautiful are always thinking. There is no image like the image of a man that thinks. The inside of my right thigh will be where he writes his autobiography. He was obsessed with leaving love notes on my skin, and I will wake up some mornings, walk past the bathroom mirror, finding things like "remember me" drawn backwards across my collarbone. This is to the man that throws a penny in the water fountain and it throws it back. The metaphor of your life: it rained the day before you came, the sky fell, knocked over, dripping red from God's veins. It smelled of all the wet things in New York City. When I got home, soaking and heavy, the clock clapped its hands. I was hoping you'd bring me flowers from the last grave you buried your mind. I was hoping you'd at least remember to kiss me first. You simply smiled and shook your head so that your hair, silly and waving, rambled over your forehead like surrendering flags. You make my blood self-conscious. I can't look at you without a little girl drowning in me, without a self-righteous woman running naked down my spine. I can't look at you without tripping over my eyelids. You hold a world in those eyes of yours. When God made you, he wrote his first suicide note. Folded it into your breath and prayed that you'd be the death of him. You bring out the fear in me, the fear of God's eyelash. You give this living a life of loving, left laying on the lie of this world leaning. Thank you for being so goddamned inexplicable, for making me think about you so hard that I went to church today and left 2 pills of Advil for God at the altar. I said a prayer for him. that he will not turn to narcotics or lonely nights of drinking wine in his empty room, or that a song won't play on the radio or in heaven and remind him of when he was young. And it was okay. It was okay to make mistakes. I just want to say before I close out that I grew up, I'm literally a product of Brave New Voices, and particularly Urban Word NYC, which is my home organization in New York City. And the poets and the young people that I met at this incredible gathering, when I left this gathering, I believed we were going to change the world. I was convinced. And what I want to remind you of is that you are so powerful. The truth is one of the greatest weapons we have today. You have to be high on the people. You have to be high on truth. You have to gravitate towards it in every facet of your life. And don't get it twisted. Don't let these flashy lights and this microphone get to your head. It is so transformative to be a good fucking human in the world. And being a listener is a radical act. We can't do what we do if we don't have someone else listening. It's a conversation. It's a relationship. Learn to read your room. Read your room. Feel the energy of the bodies in the room. How does the room feel? And then you move accordingly. Sometimes you don't even need to say anything. Sometimes you just need to give the mic to somebody else. And you need to know when that time comes, right? When we learned how to be a part of a team, what we learned was some people needed to get up there and do their poem. More important than us winning. More important than us getting a win. We struggled together, we workshopped together, we wrote with each other, and we lived these poems. We lived them, we breathed them, and we saw people get free through these poems. So remember that it's not about your ego. It's not about your ego. If ever you find your ego getting to your head, you got to walk out of the room and go take a, you know what I mean? Go take a little walk, check yourself. Let me do this last poem. I love y'all, I believe in y'all, and we need poems. We need radical truth tellers in the world, and I believe y'all are them, okay? This poem is a new poem, and it's called Every Media Minute. Every media minute, America's hysterical hands drip blood. A pointing finger inward, the people scroll over bodies, wet dreams of war. We want to believe we aren't dying too, and the joy is sad, and the art is sadder. When will we live? We think in words, and I am a sound. They tell me love is hard work, but why? Why does it come so easy? I haven't clocked in. I don't want this love to tire or go on strike for better wages or lose itself in a bottle at a lonely bar. I am tired of protest. Everything here is a job, even love. And that is how I know. That is how I know they have trained us to become what we loathe, to desire what disguises us, to be the executed and the executioner. I had a friend who had a friend, and they are no more. He was so busy being himself, he couldn't try just being for a change. Maybe if we market love like a selfie, or maybe offer a stimulus package for feelings we don't allow ourselves to feel, maybe then we can communicate, or at the very least we can laugh at the hypocrisy of our silly predicament here together. Insanity is the father of invention. He's a rolling stone. The Christians are clinging to their God more than ever before. Rickety religions reveal rickety men, been there, done that. I want a God no American can worship. I want a God who doesn't want to be worshiped, who isn't insecure or condescending, who doesn't put borders around heaven. I want a God who smuggles souls past patrol officers, sins seated in the trunk of his 4-door chest, thundering down walls. I want a God who returns prayers to sender, who laughs with or at us. A God. You need a God. Don't we need a God? We need something greater than ourselves. I want a God, don't you? We need a God, we need something. I want a God who loves. Thank you, Brave New Voices.